Hi guys. So the student that I had was Ellie. She had a problem with paying attention during class. She runs into trouble when she reads through a question or a prompt because by the time she gets to the end of it, she forgets what the beginning of it said, and she just feels like giving up. She gets overwhelmed. So even though she wants to do really well, she has gaps in her understanding of math and she pays poor attention to details. So when I was reading about Ellie, I realized that her main problem was with encoding. So she had trouble with how she takes in information, and when she gets that information, she has trouble on what to do with it, how to organize it. So I wanted to focus on how she could improve on how she takes in information, and also wanted to focus on what I could do to help her with that. So the first skill that I wanted her to work with was organizing reading material and assignments into smaller and manageable chunks. And I wanted her to learn about how to clearly identify the details. So the teaching strategy, I could model lessons and assignments to show those small sequential steps. And I wanted to teach Ellie how to make highlights of important information and to margin notes. So when she gets to the end of the question or the reading prompt, she forgets what the beginning said. So I wanted her to highlight what the important information is and also make notes of those important information because this will help her to go back and she can reread what she wrote and help jot her memory. So student responsibilities, she can engage in guided practice with practice problems and work on putting the steps together sequentially, which will help her to remember what she needs to do. And I just said when reading instructions or a math problem, she can highlight the main points and make notes of those main points. And just some suggestions for the parents when giving Ellie a chore, they could help her break down the chores into steps and go through them verbally, and also have her write down the steps and check them off as they're being completed. And another suggestion, read a story with Ellie every night for at least 20 minutes. And at the end of the story, have her summarize what you just read together, which will help her to recall in her short term memory what you just talked about. The next skill that I wanted her to learn was paying attention to the detail, both in the assignment and in the instructions, which also helped with her encoding. So the teaching strategy would just be to tell her exactly what to focus on and why, and encouraging her to verbalize the instructions back to you. So instead of Ellie being overwhelmed by all these different things coming in, just telling her exactly what to focus on will help her to remember what she needs to accomplish. So, what Ellie can do, she can verbalize the instructions, she can draw pictures, or use other concrete materials to show her comprehension of the instruction. And kind of going back to the first part, just highlighting the main points, rereading the directions, rereading the main points, and saying them out loud to a teacher or a partner. Some of the parent suggestions when giving Ellie a chore, you can explain exactly what you want her to do and why it's important that she does it, and just having her repeat back the direction. The last thing that I had was develop inner language to help with remembering direction. So this has to do with her working memory. So teacher strategy, I could have the students work with a partner so that they can repeat direction amongst themselves and have them create picture steps of their direction. So Ellie could work with a partner and each person could take a turn repeating the direction. And I would encourage Ellie to go first because this will help her to recall from her working memory what she needs to do. They could create at least one picture step of direction in sequential order. And after talking with the partner, I think like once a week, I would have Ellie just stand in front of the class or in her seat and have her guide the class through what they need to do. This will help her to remember what she needs to do and how to accomplish it. And just some parent suggestion. After telling Ellie the steps, have her write them down and repeat them back to you. When there are errors, correct them. And then tell Ellie a chore to do, have her create picture steps, and then 30 minutes later, have her go back and tell you what the steps are without referring to the picture steps unless she really needs to. So this will also help with her encoding and with her working memory.